You're listening to Fathead Radio via Live 365.
It is the Boomer, and that was Dusty Springfield from Oldies But Goodies Volume 1. And if you're a regular listener to the show, you know that's from the PBS fundraising 2 huge 12-disc set, Oldies But Goodies Volume 1 and Oldies But Goodies Volume 2. And it comes with about 250 songs, about 125 songs in each package. And I stole that for $30. I've told this story many times. $30 at a farmer's market about a month ago. So now if you're lucky enough to listen in, especially early, you're always going to catch at least one of these every Saturday morning. Could be Volume 1, could be Volume 2. You never know. So anyway, hopefully we'll get some phone calls in today. It's a Saturday morning in early December, and it's going to be beautiful out. Amelia's already out Christmas shopping, so I imagine everybody's running around. Be nice if anybody tunes in, and definitely nice if I can hear from some of my friends about this crazy week. Now, we have had the Answer Man of Life scheduled at 10:30, so... Alright, here comes somebody to save the day. Good morning. You're on Fathead Radio.
Up next, our NASCAR expert, Denny Deege.
Morning, Mike.
Dennis, how you doing, bud?
All right, just woke up.
Well, good. I'm glad. You can join me right in time. And you helped out anybody listening in because I was already starting to ramble. Been a big week. How you doing?
All right, just trying to wake up here. I took a little nap. I've been up since 5, and I took a nap, and I said, holy crap, it's 10 o'clock.
All right, well, last night, did you see my post? Last night, Santa made his first appearance over at Peace Church there, right around the corner from you.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so...
Peace Church, is that the one on the corner of Humeville and Byberry?
That's exactly it. Did a nice little thing last night. They had about 60 youngsters there watching the Polar Express. So Santa showed up, just as Santa showed up in the video, in the film. And they paused it, and we came, and yeah, it was great. It was 15 minutes of like star worship, and then I was gone. So it was less than an hour out of my life. It was a great time for Santa Claus, anyway. So that was nice. That's first appearance, though. We got a couple more planned. No, I got
You're a good man, Michael Bergen.
No, I just like playing Santa Claus. I just gave in to it years ago, Dan. I am Santa Claus, and now I believe it.
At least you're not standing on Knights Road anymore.
Yes, thank you. You know, I can always count on you for the silver lining inside the cloud. Here's something else that you don't know anything about, and it's going to be ongoing. So I just wanted to fill you in, though, because I know somehow you'll think of a way to help me out here. I'm in Beards for Bella.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week.
All right, good. Okay, I wasn't sure how much we talked about this. So, but I'm in. I don't think we were in last week. Don. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, now it's coming back to me. Well, Don's in, and he shaved and sent his picture in, so he's in. Now, I'm still not sure exactly. I know the longest beard's going to be the winner. I'm not sure what else is going on, but it's a way to going to try to raise some money for Beats for Bella.
It's a good cause.
Yeah, it definitely is. And she goes in for her third operation in April. So, you know, I don't think she's 3 years old yet. Well, I'll find that out from her poppy one of these days. So anyway, Beards for Bella. Yeah, news at 11 on that. You watching the Flyers?
Yeah, I'm not a hockey fan at all.
You know how. Well, the answer, Big Frank calling at 10:30.
I'm still an Eagles fan.
Wow, that takes courage. Now, what do you think, Dan? I thought with this week they were going to be set up perfect if the Patriots were undefeated. But I think the Patriots losing last week pisses them off enough that even without all those guys, I mean, the Eagles just are so bad this year. Those last two games, I don't know how you fix all that. You know? I mean, Bradford comes in and walks on water. Now you're halfway there, you know? Don't you think?
Well, gotta see.
Oh, well, this must be breaking your heart, buddy. I know my poor...
things have happened.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule here, though. You know, the Cardinals, I imagine the Cardinals are going to need that game. The Bills, I don't know. I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't mind seeing LaShawn McCoy come in and light the place up. But there's no wins there. Not the way they've played all year.
Does somebody have to go into the playoffs from the East?
Yeah. And that's something. That does say it all. Somebody has to go. Now, will they get in with a 7-9 record? That's the one thing. I don't know if that's ever happened. You know, I know 8-8 has gotten in. I know I've seen that in my lifetime, but I don't know about 7-9. I can't believe it hasn't happened at least once.
I think the Giants went in with a losing season one year.
Yeah. I don't know. With any luck, I'll hear from somebody today who will have an opinion on that, if not outright knowledge. 7-9. Yeah, I'm writing them one of these notes down here. So,
I picked Chicago this week.
Yeah, 425. Okay, I know. Listen, there's only like 13 guys in. There's 13 folks in, guys and gals, which is nice. So I'm not like chasing everybody down because we only have 5 weeks left. With any luck, if the less people that are in it, maybe we'll get 2 winners. You know, a couple upsets. Yeah, because the other last year it took 11 weeks, and this year we did 2 in 12 weeks. And listen, while we're on the subject, I can mention to you that well, you know what? This week I had the Lions on the pick'em pool.
Yeah.
Now this is the one that's for money, right? I pay to get in. I'm playing on last year's money. Dan, I've already won 1 week. I just won again 2 weeks ago. Last week. I'm sorry, last week. Last week I won the week, which is worth about $100.
Man.
You know? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So that was. But I had the Lions the other night here, and you seen the ending of that game, right?
I missed it.
Oh man. Well, listen, they're playing it a million times. So if you see TV, you see Packers, look, and you're likely to see this play in the next 24 hours. But
that Hail Mary pass.
Yeah.
That's all I caught was the end. I seen a clip on the internet of that.
Well, it's pretty fantastic, I'll tell you that. They got kind of a cheap face mask penalty, but I suppose it is the way they call it today. The game would have been over. And you know what the face mask penalty came on? It came on a play where like they were doing that, running through the band play, throwing the ball around. Back and forth. They kept throwing it back because time had run out.
Uh-huh.
And that was the play. So that pretty much was going nowhere. But this guy caught Rodgers. That was the last one to have the ball, and he caught his face mask with his finger. It can't end on that play, like a defensive penalty. So that got him close enough to like wing the ball. But before he winged the ball, he dropped back, he went to his left, and he ran back to his right, which he's right-handed, and then did like a javelin toss. Like the announcers were great. When they did the replay, the first thing the guy that's doing the color says, he's there, okay, and he started the play, he says, Detroit rushed 3. Detroit had 3 rushers. That was the first mistake. and when you see the replay, which already happened, it was perfect because they had I think they had 5 guys blocking 3. Rodgers ran to the left, and everybody ran with him, and then he did a big little, semi-circle and ran to the right and just ran and threw this javelin toss, and they caught it. So they win by 4 points then, and I had the Lions in 3.5. Like, how do these bookies do that? That's amazing. They do it with math, too. It's all math, I think.
They got their ways of doing that.
They're witchcraft.
It's kind of amazing.
Unless
that wasn't the thing with the big stink for officiating where they're moving the whole crew official crew to Philadelphia this week for bad calls?
No, I don't know anything about that.
That was a big deal. It was all over the internet, but I forgot which game it was. But they made so many mistakes in the game, and there was a lot of complaints from both teams. So the NFL moved a whole officiating crew to the Philadelphia game for this week.
Okay.
Like,
I get it now. I get it now.
Or what? Like, what are they trying to
That's
do?
a story. That's funny, man. You made me cough. Hold on here. I'm going to try to kill my... I'm going to try this cough button. That's disgusting. Now, you could hear that, right, Dan?
You're coughing?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
I don't think that went out over the air. We're back on now. I tried to mute that. So... But I'll never know because the way I got this thing recorded, I can't tell the difference. We'll be on there. My coughing will be on the recording for sure. Yeah, so I don't know what else we can say about the Eagles, buddy. That's a tough break. You're going to have to. I'm going to have to try to teach you a little bit more about hockey because have you ever seen a live hockey game?
Yeah. I try to fall asleep through one.
Tried to, but it's too noisy.
Yeah, the puck hit the glass and scared the crap out of me. I was in the third row on a blue line.
Yeah. No, that's wild down there, man. It's like giants skating
And
around
years
30
ago,
miles an
I went to
hour.
a few of the Firebird games down at the old Civic Center.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, good old Derek Sanderson. What
Pretty
happened to
much
him?
quite a few of the Flyers' little brothers were on the team.
Yeah?
Yep.
I think I kind of remember that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like in the 70s.
They were selling tickets. So Dave Schultz's brother must have played for him.
Yeah, I think McLeish. Two of them.
I don't remember that.
I think that whole league's been disbanded. Hasn't it? The North American Hockey League?
Yeah, a little while ago. Yeah, you're not keeping up on that. Yeah, that's long gone. That's long gone. The Phantoms are in, I don't even know what the name of the leagues are, but it's like the minor leagues. It's like AAA. And they play up in Lehigh Valley here, up by Allentown.
How did you ever get involved with hockey, Mike, when we never played that as kids?
I know. I went to a game. I think the first tickets I went on was Father Noel was the chaplain for the team when we were, at Ryan. And he used to get tickets. I think we went down there then, but when I really fell in love with it was at the playoffs against the Minnesota North Stars. But at that time, I already appreciated hockey. It was like too late for me. But, it wasn't if I was going to, but like that wasn't going to dedicate my life at, 16 or 18 to trying to be an ice hockey player in Philly. I never took that serious. But I got to play with guys that played good, neighborhood guys like Mooch and Hayride and these guys.
I know a lot of guys were getting involved with that when that place was
It's a great game.
on the boulevard there, that rink.
Mm-hmm.
But hockey and like soccer wasn't a big thing. The only guy who knew about soccer back then was Matt Conway.
Yeah. Well, Matt and Billy Conway, all public. He was all public, Billy Conway. I'm not sure about Matt. Hopefully I'm not forgetting Matt's accolades. But listen, you mentioned the Boulevard. We used to skate down there all the time. We played league there. There's a lot of good stories. But one of my favorite, because it involved me, because I didn't really play. I used to coach these guys down there. Excuse me. The ice was melted then. We showed up. Nobody called. Never didn't know anything. The ice was melted, so it was a pool. So we're paying for our own ice time. These guys are chipping in. We used to have beef and beers. I gotta get my money back, so we can, because we're gonna have to find someplace else to skate. Period. And this guy hid behind the door, and he's talking to me behind from the other side of the door. We're yelling back and forth at each other. I finally got it. He finally gave me cash. But that's the Blatsteins. Like the kids are now all over Philly. I mean, they're insiders, I think. They're doing developments or trying to get them done. The Blatsteins. But those were back in the days. That was insane. That was crazy. No, that wasn't the kids. That had to be the old man or whoever was working for him. But yeah, we played the 7th Street Hawks there. I got a picture of that team somewhere in my office here. Let's play the 7th Street Hawks. It was a big rumble. A rumble. People, there were women swinging pocketbooks over the boards at players. They were in fights.
That's what it was all about back then.
What's that?
That's what hockey was all about back then.
Oh yeah, that was the Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies, exactly.
You had to buy your tickets for a game like 3 years in advance.
Yeah, well, they have available tickets now, but even today, I mean, they still have a huge season ticket base, considering the last time they won a Stanley Cup, for sure.
I used to watch them practice every once in a while at the Coliseum in Jersey.
Yeah, that was fun. I've seen them practice years and years and years ago, but
I didn't live too far from there, and matter of fact, when Ellie Lindbergh bought it, we were in the area. We went up to see the wall he hit, set of steps.
oh yeah, right.
Right. There was an athlete there, man.
Oh man, what a waste. He was he was already playing. I don't know if he could have played any better, but he had years ahead of him. He was so good.
Now, when I was working at English Greenhouse on Admiral Wilson Boulevard, when the flatbed came by with his car on it, and I could not believe that wreck and how there was another guy and a girl in a car that escaped.
Somehow survived, yeah.
Couldn't believe that how anybody got out of that vehicle. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was bad. And I don't think the Flyers ever recovered from it because he was like in the Bernie Parent mold where this kid could win a game almost any time, just like Parent was in his like top years. Like that's a special gift. He didn't play like Parent necessarily because he was a little guy. He was like active, in the net. He wasn't one of these tall guys like almost they all look like now. Take up a lot of net. Anyway, the Flyers are a lot of fun to watch when they're playing hard. That's all the time. But this team's got to keep it together because this is what they should look like, what they look like for the last week or so.
Yeah, one of these days I'll learn all the rules of that game so I can understand it. That's very hard to watch when you don't understand.
Yeah. Well, and they don't change them like NASCAR, I can tell you that. But they've changed in like our lifetime. Like they're taking out the red line was a big deal. I think that was all to break the trap then. The Jersey Devils came up with this system, and I don't know who should get the credit, one of those old guys. And they called it the trap. And it used to like just clog up the middle and then just frustrate the other team till they make a mistake and then get behind them and score a goal and win 1-0 or 2-1. So boring. So boring. So of course, because the Devils had success with it, everybody else started using it. Not everybody, but other teams were using it. And it was killing the game. So I think that's why they took the red line out. At least that's the history from Fat Hat Radio, because I'm speaking for it.
I heard it here first.
So.
Speaking of NASCAR there, the banquet was last night.
Was there any fights?
No. And like I expected, I didn't get to see it because, it was on that NBC Sports Network, so I wasn't able to see it. But there were some clips on it. I posted one of them. Tom Cruise made a little speech about Jeff Gordon. He played Jeff Gordon in that movie Days of Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Gordon was bawling like a big baby on his speech and everything else.
With Cruise's speech? Or during his own speech?
He was crying in his chair before
he even got up?
Speaking, and then when he got up, he kept breaking down on the stage. And like I thought, Jeff Gordon's retirement overshadowed the whole thing for Bush. Bush was sitting there in his tuxedo with his wife, and all eyes were on Gordon. That's all they kept giving Gordon, all kinds of awards and all this stuff.
Tough night.
This is great.
Yeah, don't sound fair, but Bush isn't like a popular character, right? In the NASCAR circuit.
He's a very good driver, but he's just an asshole.
Okay, that's what it is then. Yeah, like he can't be denied. I like guys like that. They're fun to watch anyway.
So that's all over with now, and they got their big checks.
Yeah.
They get checks from different sponsors for like $1 million or $2 million.
At this ceremony that they were at this dinner?
Yeah, the
They
top
pass out checks to these guys?
top 10 drivers are called up one at a time, and the sponsors hand them all this money. And
Okay.
I remember several years ago, Jeff Gordon got a solid gold die cast of his car from General Motors, and he just went to pick it up off the podium there, and he almost dropped it. It was so heavy.
That is like a King Tut thing. That sounds like something from like ancient Egypt. They're giving his cars weight in gold.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, well, Gordon was like a pretty boy forever, and I didn't realize Tom Cruise was playing him in Days of Thunder. I only watched the movie once, and it was years ago. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, he was actually taller than Gordon.
No way.
Yeah.
That's really hard to believe from his reputation. He's 5 foot, probably a little bit bigger, but
He's a little guy. That's he had heels on.
yeah. Well, I think when he's on these talk shows and all, he's wearing lifts of some sort, get him up at least an inch or two. Yeah, he still don't look that tall, but yeah, Tom Cruise, I think he's doing okay.
You get a chance, go online and on Facebook there. I posted Gordon and Cruise's speeches.
Oh, okay. Where'd you post them at?
Facebook.
No, on your page?
On general, yeah.
Okay.
You might find it interesting.
Yeah, I'll watch it if it's short enough, for sure.
And you did get to see the Rocky fight? Or you didn't?
No, I haven't talked about that, huh? Excuse me. No, I missed it. You texted me, and I was sitting in the office working, and when I went to the station, it was on. And here, I looked at the guide, and here it was the exact one we were talking about Saturday morning, with the street fight at the end. And I thought to myself, you know what? I need to get in the other room before it gets too further in, and record it. And then I had that thought again about 3 hours later. Of course, I hadn't gotten up to do it, and if I did get up, I didn't get it done. So I missed it. But this Creed movie's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, me too, but I can't see going to the theater and paying money for that. I'm going to have to wait till the summer. No, it hasn't been cheap for a long time. I used to love the movies, man. I went all the time.
Did you catch Patty's post?
Which one?
Well, I talked to her last week, and she invited me to go to movies with her and Jeannie Heerwalzer, and I declined. I had something to do. And
Play hard to get.
I said, "Are you going to the Woodhaven?" She goes, "No, we're going to the Chamonix." Why? And I said, "Because you could buy drinks in Woodhaven."
Oh,
So
okay.
that sparked in her brain there, and she posted yesterday that she went to the movies, and in those recliner seats, you have to select your seat from a chart at the ticket booth.
Oh.
And whoever was sitting next to her smelled, and she went on to say about how bad he smelled and all this stuff.
I saw that.
That was kind of funny.
I'm sorry. You know what? I didn't realize that was Patty. I kind of flashed by it, but I did read it. The person next to him smelled.
love.
Well, that's terrible. That's a bad break. I think she's been a little cranky lately. I don't. She's not mad at me. She posted something. This blonde Blaze TV,
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah. Did you read my comment?
Yes.
Was I over the line? You think? Do you think she'd be mad at me for that?
She'll let you know.
All right.
She's been posting a whole lot.
Yeah, I know. Listen, you know what it is, Dan? I was good at ignoring it, but honestly, I got some friends on there who I really care about, and I know are better than that. And the stuff that they're just mindlessly passing on, it hurts me. I'm serious. That's the only people I say anything to. Terry, I do it to all the time, but she's cool. I mean, she just, it's like, I don't worry about it with Terry. Like, we go back and we don't really argue at all. She just like has a lot going on, I guess.
A little banner.
Yeah, just a little bit, not much. She's got it, but she just got a good sense of humor. So
Yeah,
Terry handles it.
Up on there, and it's like I always say that the freedom of speech didn't necessarily mean to tell lies.
No, I think no. It means you can tell lies, but people shouldn't be following them. How do you figure that out? Because that's all that goes on then, right? I mean, politicians, especially election time, I mean, you're not going to find any truth. All you can hope for is honesty then. And you know what? I like that in some of these guys that I wouldn't vote for in a million years. But the one thing I like about them, at least some of them are saying what they think. I think most of them, or if not all of them, are pandering. But they believe, a handful of them, I think, believe what they're saying.
Did you see the Jane Curtin post?
Jane Curtin. Who's that? Who's Jane?
She said years ago I was the only pretty blonde.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole network.
Prostitutes has a whole room full.
Yeah, that's an old post. All right, buddy. You're the man, Dan. I'll tell you what. Great talking to you. Appreciate you calling in, keeping me company. We got the Dance Man of Life on around 10:30 here. I got to dig up a Christmas song, too, by the way.
Gonna sing it?
Well, I'd love to, but I'm not going to do that. But I didn't queue anything up, so I'm just going to see if I can figure this out. And anything else we got going on before we hang up?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, hopefully we're going to drop in at Jigger's joint at 11:30.
Yeah, I was there last week, but I couldn't get a word in.
No, it's only going to get worse. The more people that get invited. So it's a very exclusive invite, though. So, and you're in. Once you're in, you're in. I think they got to carry you out. You don't want that. Called Jigger's joint.
It's been done.
Exactly. It's been done.
Yeah, hopefully we all get together soon.
Yeah, you know what? That's my fault. I haven't called Jeannie, so I will.
She might even be in Florida, and past 2 years she's been going to see her dad near the holidays.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I
don't
remember
know
that last year.
Doing that this year, but maybe. He always shows
There
up
it
at
is.
Christmas time with a tan. Not fair.
Yeah, no, that's good for her. I like it. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm going to have to skip the Christmas music till the next time. Till the next break.
All right, Mark.
What I got here. All right, Dennis, you are the man. I do appreciate calling in, pal, and it's always great to talk to you.
I hope I didn't bore all your listeners to death with my idle chat here.
They'll get over it. Nobody's going to die listening to this show. I hope not. We're doing this show.
Have a good weekend, and let me know what's going on.
All right, Dan. I will do that, pal. Good to talk to you. All right.
Bye.
See you, buddy. All right, a good friend Dennis keeping me company, keeping Boomer company here at Fat Hat Radio, Saturday morning, December the 5th.
Amor, the answer, man of life, will eliminate your daily strife. No need to kill your husband or wife. The Amor will fix your crazy life. AMOL, the answer, man of life. The answer, man of life, fixing trouble and strife. We've all got troubles and lots of pain, and the freaking kids are driving you insane. This is just not how it has to be. The answer, man of life, will set you free. AMOL, the answer, man of life. The answer, man of life, fixing trouble and strife.
And now, here's the glue that holds this interwebs dog and pony show together. Big Frank Falcone.
Good morning. We are back. I think I timed that one perfect. That Fat Hat Radio on the
you
phone.
did pretty good. You only had me on 3 minutes late. You're getting better.
Big Frank and the Answer Man of Life. Well, yes, that's true. Well, we've been talking for 3 minutes almost. Catching up on the Eagles. Yeah. All right.
Oh, the Eagles.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you what. That's a shame. You know what? We got a lot of people. We're surrounded by people. People we don't even, Frankie, people you don't even know in your neighborhood that take this really serious. The Eagles.
I know, and I feel
Football.
I feel bad for them. Not because the Eagles are doing so poorly, but because they take football so seriously.
Man.
Can you imagine what your life must be like when like one of the most important things in your life is how the Eagles are doing?
Well, I'm going to tell you
What must
something.
your life be?
Hey, you know what? You probably, I don't know how many of these people you're talking about you know personally, but I would tell you that most of the ones I know, I would say, approach everything in their life that way. So the Eagles is just one thing. They love football, and they were born in this town. You know, it's like people that are always on the sidelines cheering for somebody else, but they're people. They're not
I
necessarily.
got to tell you, I love hockey, but when the Rangers lose a game, I check my bank account and there's no difference. So guess what? I don't care.
Yeah, well, you're a money grubbing. You know what? I mean,
No, it has nothing to do with
So
money. It has to
heartless.
do with how important is it. I mean, it's a hockey game.
well, that's a weird measurement. You just threw me off there. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah, so I would agree but with hockey it's 80 some games. So with football, like each game's a little more important for the season. And when the Rangers have a bad year, I know that they'll make it feel good. But you check
no,
your
it
bank.
doesn't make me happy, but I don't mope around for the entire summer crying about my Rangers.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the
Seriously.
the Eagles fix don't either. I don't bring it up to them if I don't want to see that moping. But sometimes that moping's funny because these are people. I mean, I know a lot of people that it really affects them emotionally.
Well, that's a shame. It really is.
I don't think it's a shame at all.
I do. I think it's
on
terrible.
one level, it's actually pretty cool. It gets out of hand with some people, but I don't think I'm surrounded by too many of them. They've all mellowed. They've mellowed in their old age.
If the one loss record of your team really affects your life on a daily basis, you got serious issues.
All right, thank you.
You
Doc.
really do.
Thank you, Doctor. Hey,
Seriously.
Flyers are hot again last night. Another overtime 3-on-3. I got to say that they won.
Yeah, they won four
Awesome.
in a row.
Awesome. Well, this is how they should be playing. And Simmons is hot. There's things happening that's just nice to see. But part of it is Simmons is hot, and then his line does better. Whoever he's playing with does better. But he goes hot and cold. So that's not going to last because it never does. But
Well, they're still almost in the basement in the conference. So.
yeah, exactly. Listen, this is like the last 2 years. So this is nothing. This little streak this week. This isn't turning me on to blind craziness. But I'll get blind crazy if they keep making the effort. Because it's one of those games. You know how it is. 80 games, and you can win games, but if you outwork people, and there's
And they
games
got
all year
about,
long, that happens.
Playing Columbus today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know what Columbus's record is.
The Rangers are playing Ottawa tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't
The
feel
Rangers are still doing pretty good, but
they had a skid.
they lost one. They're
No. They lost.
their
When
last
the
10.
Flyers beat them, it
They're
was 3 in a
4-5-1
row.
in their last 10. Philadelphia is 6-2-2 in their last 10.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know that. So Philly's 6-2-2. And what were the Rangers?
4-5-1.
All right. I'm looking at them here. Yeah, Washington's got them tied. Does Washington got a game in hand?
Yeah, but
It's
look
too
at
early
this number.
for that problem.
Okay, the difference in goals for and goals against.
Yeah.
Rangers are plus 19. Flyers are minus 17.
Yeah, they don't score, and that's a problem. That's why Simmons scoring now is part of the what's going on. But the reason they're winning is because they've been playing defensive. Even when they were losing before the streak, they were working hard. They were playing good defensive hockey, but they were losing 2-1. They give up goals late too. In games they're only winning by 1 goal, and they got to fix that, but that's not their first problem.
Yeah, that's a lot of teams seem to do that. That's just a mental thing.
It's a physical thing too, because you got
you're being tired, but what I'm saying is, if you're tired, that's when you have to screw up the mental end and push through that.
Well, no, they got more men. They're outnumbered. Is what I'm saying. So, like last night, the Flyers were down 2 because they had the power play. They were, they were short, and of course they pulled the goalie. So, that's.
Yeah, well, the Rangers lost that Boston game in the shootout, but they Boston tied it on a 5-on-3 from the guy trying to clear a puck and shooting it over the glass. I hate that penalty.
That's a stupid penalty.
It really is.
But on purpose, it's a deserving penalty. But
but who does it on purpose and why?
Well, to stop the game. Really, believe me, there's a lot of reasons to do it. Yeah. So guys did it, and that's why they made the rule. But now the rule's called to the nth degree,
right?
And innocent plays are getting called as penalties when now it's a rule instead of the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Just like life, Frank. Sports is like, just got to roll with it, I guess. That seems to work better.
Well, it's funny when you said Flyers, I thought you said liars, and I remember earlier you were talking to your last caller. Who the hell was it?
The one and only Dennis.
Denny, right?
Yep, Denny.
And he said you were talking about lies and but let me tell you, about an hour before I called in, I spent a good hour listening to Tucker Carlson on Fox News. Oh, Michael!
Now is he out of the bow tie business, or is he?
He's out of the bow tie business, but he's still the biggest schmuck that walks the face of the earth.
Got a lot of competition there.
Yeah, what he said this morning was that I love this. He said, well, what Obama's trying to do is, he hates Americans so much that what he's trying to do is to replace Americans with foreigners because he has a love for foreigners. So he wants to see how many foreigners can he bring in, how many of them will kill Americans so we can get the numbers shifted. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't see that. Okay, let me see what I got here. I was trying to do something, listening to... No, I'm good. We're still on. I do have a couple quotes here that I wanted to go over with you before we go off the air. And I'm going to find them, so I apologize for all the smudging around.
That's right, but here is a couple of my great things this week. They had 3 votes in the House on bills relating to terrorism, and my favorite is that the Republicans refuse to vote to let people on the do not fly watch list, the terrorist watch list. They won't let them fly, but they're okay to go out and buy automatic weapons. Yeah. And the excuse they give is, well, the list isn't perfect. Even Ted Kennedy was on the list for a while by accident.
Is that why I heard that? I heard that.
And it's true, but here's the thing.
That? Now I know why.
So what it comes down to is the Republicans are more afraid of the NRA than they are ISIS.
All right.
When you get right down to it. That's the only other way you can describe it.
If you take that route to
it. And wait a minute, and here's the other one. They won't let the federal government do research. The Center for Disease Control, they will not allow them to gather statistics and do research on gun violence because they're afraid of what they're going to find. I mean, how can anybody not vote for these things? And now they found out that these 2 guns that these people bought in California, 2 of them were bought with what they call the straw purchasers. They didn't go in and buy them themselves. They had somebody else legally buy them for them and hand them to them. So everything that the Republicans don't support winds up being the things that we need most to worry about. How can you be on a no-fly list and be allowed to buy an automatic assault weapon? Tell me one reason why that's okay. One. and I'll never mention it again.
I don't know. I didn't see the security plan. I'm not going to come up with a connection there that makes sense. I don't understand that. If you're going to have a list, why are you going to do it? Well, the research is another thing because all those committees and all have been taken over, and the heads of them are all anti-science people.
They're from Louisiana and Mississippi and Arkansas and Alabama. States where nobody has any intelligence.
Is that what's going on down there?
Yeah.
That's why I stay away. What do they do in those universities, like the University of Georgia and all that?
All they do is get drunk. Get drunk and worship football. That's all they do.
Yeah, it's good to be young.
Are you talking about people who have nothing in their life but football? There you go. Goober Central, okay?
I'll tell you what, where you wouldn't be having fun? At a tailgate party.
No.
In a jersey, in a football jersey.
Only if I was applauding the tumbling of the World Trade Center at a tailgate party. Right. Then maybe,
You're one of those guys.
with thousands and thousands of other people.
Thousands.
No, not thousands. Thousands and thousands.
And it was on TV. It was on TV, don't forget.
That's right, but nobody can find it.
I tell you what, I got a whole list of stuff that I could read you that I've seen on the internet, and I'm just not sure it's real. I have some doubts. But
Michael, wait a minute. I found out something last night I never knew before. There's this guy called something Jones. He says that Sandy Hook wasn't real. It was all staged by the federal government. They brought actors in to play the dead children.
Probably the same people that brought us the moon landing. The same.
But he says, and the reason they do this, they want to put all these things out in front of the American public so they can just come take your guns away. That is the main reason why the federal government exists, is to come get your guns.
Yeah. Well, that's preached heavily, and honestly, I'm going to tell you my solution, because I don't like to get touchy with this stuff. 2 hours a week, Saturday morning. He's got all week to argue about this. But if the legitimate gun owners, which are like 99% of the people,
right,
could relax and just get sensible with this and be respected at the same time. I mean, They need to be respected. If that would happen, this thing could get solved pretty quick. Now, it's not going to get solved because it's like it can happen.
But you know why it can't happen, though? Because the minute a gun owner says anything that remotely resembles a common sense statement, they are pilloried, vilified by their brother gun owners. You are not allowed to make any comment that reeks of common sense. You're a traitor to the cause.
Social media, that's like brutal. People can find you so easy. And
even your friends. If you had a friend, if there were two gun owners, and one gun owner said to the other gun owner, well, you know what, I think that a stronger background check for mental illness is a good idea, he'd never hear from his friend again. He'd be completely ostracized. And that person would then tell everybody else what that person said, and they'd all hate him, and that's why not one of them can do it, because none of them has the guts to voice anything that makes common sense. Let me tell you something. When you need an arsenal of automatic weapons in your gun safe, you're not a brave person to begin with.
Whatever happened to Andy and Mayberry? Whatever happened to Mayberry? Is this what's happened to Mayberry? Everybody's diming out their neighbors. I'll tell you what, Frank. This is just what they want.
Everybody better worry about now.
They projected.
Now that the VA has taken me off off of my therapy, I can go out and buy a gun now. That's what you all need to be thinking about. Mm-hmm. Frank Falcone can legally go out and buy a semi-automatic rifle.
Frank Falcone, Vietnam vet. Well, listen, if you listen to the people...
Expert marksman, by the way. Expert marksman, okay?
That's right.
I got my badge to prove it.
Very nice. We'll have to post that someday. Hey, listen, speaking of the Christmas season, it's... I reposted your message from the South Jersey Business Cooperative.
What about it?
I put it on our Fat Hat Radio's Facebook page.
My video. How did you like it?
It was very nice, and it's getting some likes. I'll have to look it up. I could look it up while we're talking.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, yeah, it was well done.
Good.
And it's a good cause. Let's see if I can find it. But, why is my battery running? Oh, you know what? I'm not plugged in here. Something's seriously wrong. Oh, I kicked the plug out. You know, it's great these computers talk to us. This is awesome. And it did it to me this morning. I almost sent something for Mike Bergen Realtor that didn't have the attachment on it. Because I was half thinking of doing this, and I hit it. And it said, "Are you sure you want to send? It says attached." And there's no attachment. It's like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, but it should say, "Yo, moron, you got any idea what you're doing here?"
Yo, moron would be a lot funnier. I agree with that. So, I mean, I'm looking at this. It's just freaking taking me forever. You got buried a little bit. I got carried away last night because Santa went out.
Yeah,
Santa
I heard.
made his first appearance, so.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, well, I thought we were doing better than that. But we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you got 6 likes.
Oh, that's good.
People probably watched it, so. I got it hanging out on the page for like a week.
Yeah, they're going to run that on our little local cable station.
Yeah. That's nice to hear. Well, you did a good job there, Frank. Big Frank. Answer Man of Life.
I appreciate
Fabo.
I'll tell you, I mean, I've become a WordPress maven, man. Man, I bang through this stuff out like it's nothing.
I hear you. Trying to think of the other word. It's not maven, but
Guru.
yeah, guru. That's not what I'm trying to think of. You banal. Are you being banal?
Never.
I was trying to remember that.
A word that can never be used to describe me, believe me.
Man, I am just so happy I came up with that. I'm sharp this morning. I'm impressing myself here.
Well, you know, having a pointy head does not mean
make
you're
you
sharp.
That's true. Just because your head comes to a point.
That's right.
All right. So anyway, yeah, I'll tell you about my Santa gig last night. I don't think did I tell Denny? Oh yeah, with the Peace Church.
Well, you mentioned it briefly.
Yeah. But it's like a star turn, man. It's like it's awesome. Now you know. I did this. It's just 30-some years. I'm not really counting the years, but it's been forever. Kevin's 25, right. And we did it for like 3 to 5 years before he was even born. And when Amelia was a child, they had the Christmas tree decorated, and Santa would come, and it was pretty modest. So we had Santa coming in on a fire truck. We had a couple variations of that, but the fire truck was usually the one. We had Christmas Eves at 6 o'clock with 100 people at that tree. And Santa comes in, gets off, big hellos, da-da-da-da. Every kid gets a gift. They walk up and see Santa. It was very cool. Went on forever. Now, we stopped it because we had some vandals pull the Christmas lights down, and it was becoming a lot of work. So that's really why we stopped it, because we were still healthy enough to do it. And Kevin's into it, you know, and like, so we were having fun with it. But it was all our work, and the one year we didn't do it, Frankie, the first year we didn't tell anybody, we had one person ask. And I was like, you know what, maybe this is a lot more work than it's really worth, and people appreciate. But, so that streak was going to come to an end. And my friend at Ramagli, at the real estate, Joanne's daughter, Monica, who actually was in and out of the time, she's like part of that family there, the whole Ramagli family. She teaches 2nd grade. And it was like, how about if we go over and take pictures with Santa? So blah, blah, blah. So we did that, and that kept the streak alive. Now, since then, we got some things going on at the Peace Church. So now every Christmas, Santa gets to come out a little bit, because I have basically absorbed them. I am Santa.
Right.
So we walk in. This is 8:15. I got to be there last night. 10 after 8. I'm in the parking lot. I walk in. Now they were lying to me, because I guess they know Santa's always late. So 15 minutes later, they stopped the movie, The Polar Express. There's no way you've ever watched that movie, right?
I have seen the movie.
You have seen the movie. So the part,
it's like the semi-animated with
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Well,
I saw that.
Towards the end of the movie, at the very end, Santa Claus comes to town, and they sing Santa Claus is coming to town.
Right.
And the kids sang Santa Claus is coming to town. They turned the sound off. I walked in. It was bedlam. It was insane. There's like 50 kids, and none of them came up to my shoulder. The biggest kid wanted, the first thing he had for me, name your reindeer. This kid's like, he's interrogating Santa Claus. Like, he stopped believing before this. I mean, he was funny, man. He was,
Hey, fat boy, name the reindeer.
Exactly. And I had no shot, buddy. There was no way I was going to pop quiz, get those 8 reindeer right. That's for sure. Oh, but they were screaming, and they're down by my knees and jumping up and down. Awesome. I was out of there in 15 minutes. It was funny. Oh, it was great. It was funny. It was funny. And they had a good time, and nothing got out of hand, and the kids actually listened. It's just great. And that's Monica's kids over there at the grade school. We do that where we take pictures with all the kids. That's kept the streak alive. So we've been doing that now. I think this is going to be our 4th year. And these kids are well behaved. They come in line, and the little ones really believe Frank. It's a hoot. It's a great way to spend an hour every Christmas season for me. Yep. It definitely makes me feel it. So, and I know you've always got the Christmas spirit burning in you.
Oh, come on.
Who am I talking to? It's like Kris Kringle himself.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, the other thing's going on is this Beards for Bella. I'm going to need you to get into that. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about AMOL just for a second here, or a minute.
Right.
So, you ready to announce this plan that you got for January 1st?
Sure.
New Year's Eve?
Yep, New Year's Eve at about, I guess I'll go on sometime, maybe around 10 p.m., I'm going to be launching. AMOL Radio is going off the air in its present iteration.
Whoa.
Like that word, iteration?
I'm writing it down.
Okay. I can't spell that for you, but I know how to say it.
I'm phonetically doing
and then starting at midnight, we'll bring in the new year, and at that point, AMOL Radio will convert over to SJBC Radio, which stands for the South Jersey Business Cooperative, which is my little business I run here.
Man.
And then we'll be on the air 24/7, 365, starting at that point. And AMOL Radio is going to be going to I'm going to be doing like a call-in self-help radio station where I help people with their problems in life. That's really what the AMOL should have been since the beginning, but until my therapist said that I was the sanest person that she knew, I didn't really feel qualified to do that.
I think that's a good idea.
When she took me off therapy last week, she said that out of all her clients or patients, that I'm the one that she felt should have either been a psychotherapist or a lawyer in life, one or the other.
You know what? You know who your first caller should be? Yourself.
Who?
Yourself. Is there any way you
Myself?
can call into yourself? Yeah.
Well, I was going to do
yourself
more
out.
than once. I thought about doing a fake interview with myself. Just record both sides of the interview and play it.
Both sides of your brain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I have see, Frank is the good guy, Big Frank.
Okay.
But then there's Big Hank. He's my evil twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to suggest that. So, I mean, I was trying to be funny, but this is what happens. Sometimes I say things and they're
but I mean, I really do think that, if people have problems, I can help them because I'm a no-nonsense, common sense, no-holds-barred, tell it like it is kind of guy. If you want to be pandered to, I'm not the guy to call. I'm going to give it to you straight and hard.
Woo!
And if you can't handle it,
Saturday
that's
morning,
part of your
Frank.
problem.
Come on, man. All right. Let's everybody
Part
calm
of the
down.
problem.
Everybody calm down.
All right, raise your hands and step away from the car. Did you see the guy on the news last night? He got pulled over for a traffic stop, and the cop goes up to the window, and the guy's trying to snort cocaine when the cop comes. He was 73 years old.
Oh my God!
And the cop said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I have no idea what I'm doing, but I got to get this cocaine in me."
No way! This is a real
Yes.
thing. No
Yes,
way.
it was on. Yeah, they had the dash cam of the whole thing.
I wonder how he's doing.
And the cop was going to let the guy go. You know, he said, I would have let him go because he had a spotless driving record. He said, but I had to arrest him for possession of cocaine.
He was doing it right in front of him, right?
Right in front of him. Didn't try to hide it. Didn't try to just like put it on his hand and was getting ready to snort it.
Wow. I wonder if how that mixed with his Viagra.
Unbelievable.
Because I'm sure he had a
73 years old. I think if I did a line of cocaine, my heart would explode.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to touch it.
Doing that.
I'd be afraid to touch it. Or speed, methadone.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to have that on my fingertips at this point.
Really?
But, yeah, well, you know, I'm on the treadmill, though. I'm struggling, but I'm on the treadmill.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of you because I'm like a hamster on a treadmill, but I can't get on a real treadmill. I mean, my gal now, I'm in my 10th day of battling this gout attack. But it's a lot better today. I doubled up on my medication yesterday. I'm still red and swollen, but the pain's not that bad. So that's, you know.
I wanted to end on a high note. That's kind of a lower note. So
Nah, not really. I mean, I'm doing, you know, today I'm up walking around, which has been rough for the past 10 days. I'm feeling good.
Oh, okay.
Sitting here working on the computer, going to completely have this radio station done by the end of the day. Well, by the end of the night.
All right.
Not the day. And then I got to go out and I'm going to try to add a couple hundred songs to my library. There's a lot of groups I don't have that I don't know if other people would like. Like, do I need an AC/DC song on my radio station? Do I need Whitesnake? Do I need Aerosmith?
Yeah, you probably do. If you're going to be 24/7, 365, and you're going to be all things to all people, which is what you're trying to do, you've done all that work already. So, yes. The answer is yes. You're talking
I don't
to
know.
the right
I think
person.
what I'm going to do is look for some obscure bands that I like, but I don't have. Like, you know, I found a couple of Bob Welch songs. Remember Bob Welch?
Yeah. What did he play with the Grateful Dead for some time, didn't he? Or was he part of their
I think he played with Fleetwood Mac for a while. Didn't he?
Fleetwood Mac, yeah. Sentimental Lady.
Sentimental Lady and Hypnotized.
Hypnotized. I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
it's a good song.
I'll
Got
take
me
your word for it.
hypnotized.
Oh,
No charge
man.
for that.
I can't get any of my Christmas songs up this morning. I thought they were all going to pop up, so I've got to figure out fix that for next week. Or maybe even this afternoon might play a while. I got to get out and do a little bit of Christmas shopping, though, get in the spirit. I need a tie. I got a party tonight. So,
that's why God invented the Internet, okay? Anybody who goes out into a store needs their head examined.
Listen, not everybody wants to be a hermit.
You know what happened to me? I was going to buy a TV the other day, and the salesman says to me, he says, well, you need to buy this by tomorrow if you want that price.
Were you online or were you out?
No, I was in the Best Buy because I was looking at new iPhones. So the salesman give, you know, the line of crap they always give you. Oh, well, if you don't get this by tomorrow, I can't do anything if the price goes up $500.
That's right.
And I'm saying to myself, yeah, right, I'm buying that.
Right.
I go back 2 days later, the price is up $500. I said, here's my number. Call me when it goes back down.
Yeah, I think he might be working off a script, Frank. He wasn't exactly looking out for your best interest.
I couldn't believe it.
Maybe it was one of those things that you can't, if you have to have it. But the TV is something that, you know, what are you trying to get, like a 75-inch one or something, you told me?
75-inch Sony XBR, top of the line, buddy.
That could be, I don't see.
Top of the line.
I don't see where you need to be.
$100 an inch.
All right, well, that's a positive note. We should end on that.
Absolutely.
All right, brother, I could talk to you all day. But I got to go.
You could, but you can't afford me.
No, you're worth every penny we're paying you. I've told you that before.
That's right. And more.
Okay.
All right, will you take good care of yourself?
We'll play a little Tony Bennett, seasonal song, not necessarily a Christmas song, right after your spot.
We'll forgive you for that.
All right, well, I want you to enjoy it.
All right.
All right,
take
brother.
good care. Tell Amy I said hi. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, pal. Thanks for calling in.
All right, brother.
And hanging out with me. See you later, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let me see. I hit the drop button here. No, I hit the wrong one. There you go. And, that was Big Frank, the Answer Man of Life, solving his own problems and everybody else's. So the line's open. I'm going to say a little wish here that somebody calls in and keeps company. Until then, though, we've got Our Love to Keep Us Warm. Oh, I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm by Tony. It's a Tony Bennett duet with Antonia Bennett, his daughter. So this is the version I got, and this is what we're listening to, and I'll see you on the other side. And if you are paying attention right now, remember Beards for Bella when you see me and when you talk to me. So Beards for Bella. I'm learning about it myself, but I'm in. I'm already in, even though I don't understand everything about it. So the one thing I know, and this is really all I need to know right now, is that I can't shave from now, December 1st actually, till May 6th. Now, I'm not sure about trimming the beard up and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I need to find out about. But the Beards for Bella is part of Beats for Bella. And you all know who Bella is. And she's actually having her third operation. This is with Bella was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome that at least I've learned a lot about in the last couple of years. So, in honor of her, and hopefully to raise a little money for the charity, which these guys do a great job with, and keep it local, which is the best part for me. They're doing God's work, and they're keeping it in the area and supporting the folks that are going through this. Some of them with them, some of them after them. But it's a tight group doing the best they can. So beatsforbella.com is always a good spot to go, and Beats for Bella has a Facebook page that I think is public, and there's actually a lot of very upbeat stuff you can find out. So that I drifted off from Beards for Bella, but you're gonna have to remember that, because I might be looking for $1 here and $1 there between now and May. I can't be embarrassed. I'm not gonna have the nicest beard. So this is like rigged from the beginning anyway, because the old man, Bella's dad, he's got this like Smith Brothers 1880, Western doctor beard that comes out to it looks like he could do anything he wants with it, honestly. But I've seen him wear it where he's got a point, and it actually looks good. It makes him look smarter. I know the guy. So I don't know who's going to beat him. I mean, honestly, but I'm not going to come close. So I'm going to have this gray-white thing coming all over my face. And it looks like it's blowing in the wind, too, because it all grows one way. So I don't know if it's going to be really good for my looks, but it'll be good for my soul. And I'll have a chance to play Santa Claus in April, because I'm going to look like him. So... all right, so that's Beards for Bella. I did want to touch on these things, and when we get to 11:30, we will drop in Jigger's joint and see if anybody's hanging out. Hopefully, catch somebody there and have somebody to talk to before we leave at noon to get some Christmas shopping done and get my Christmas tie. All right, well, unfortunately, I don't have any Christmas music lined up, but I can't keep talking like this. That wouldn't be fair either. So here's something I've saved for a special occasion. Get me through 5 minutes of the show, and I'll see you on the other side of this if you're going to hang with me. I hope you will. We'll stop at a Jigger's joint.
I didn't think I got this. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to what Ashley Roachcliffe of the
Hey, who's there?
This is Acapulco Gold, hit take number 483.
Oh, my man. How you doing, Don?
Good, Mike. How about yourself?
Doing great, buddy. All right. You know what? We'll just play this. I'll tell you what. This has got about a minute left. I don't care anymore now because I got you on the phone. So I'm not listening to it. But just in case. There's some folks listening, so
right.
Let it play out in case.
That's too funny. Some fond memories of that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Cheech and Chong, just for a couple years there, they were...
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Let's Go Get Stoned queued up behind it here by Ray Charles.
Oh, really?
Take up another 3 minutes. Yeah, but I got you now, so I'm going to keep you on, and
what's the
that'll
other
be
one?
Perfect.
Was that Bob Dylan, Everybody Must Get Stoned?
Everybody must get stoned. They stone you when you're trying to be so good. Yeah, this is more like Let's go get stoned to Ray Charles here. This is about getting drunk, getting high.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch this thing at the end.
So you growing your beard back, or are you going to leave it off?
Hold on. All right, I think we got that right. Listen, I had to break up the Cheech and Chong and Ray Charles because on the phone with me from Florida, my fellow friend and Beards for Bella contestant, Don Dutch Vandelar. Don.
Michael.
My
how
man.
Are you, sir?
I'm doing great, buddy. How you doing?
I'm here. I'm at work.
Yeah, I don't even want to brag. I feel too good. I don't want to jinx it. So,
But, you're my Saturday morning, 2 hours of prime time
God bless you, man.
radio for me.
Yeah,
Brought
prime
to you
time.
By Mike Bergen Realtors.
Well, I was just going to say that because you always remind me of that, and I appreciate
all caps.
that. That's right, all caps. At least the realtors in all caps. Now, Mike Bergen, that's up to you, whatever you think. So I never did talk to Frankie. I just noticed I had this quote written down for him about transgender leftist activist Ted Cruz. I'll get back to that next week. That won't go away too easy.
So Prime's going on for 24 hours on New Year's, starting New Year's.
Yeah, that's great. That's
How's
right.
he going to get any sleep?
He don't need any sleep. He's better off. He's cranky when he's sober, when he's rested, or when he's when he's not. So yeah, and he'll have that thing programmed out. So he'll be working on that.
Yeah. Then he's going to. Anybody that needs help, I said, well, who's going to help him?
Yeah, that's what I told him. He should be his first caller. Never call it himself. So he likes the idea. He already thought of it. So he might end up doing that.
He's going to end up having a conversation with himself.
Right. Well, to be fair, we all do it in our head. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's going to just have to be something that he probably shouldn't let out. But
It's going to be too funny listening to him having a verbal communication with himself.
yeah, I wouldn't want to be in his head, really.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this Beards for Bella thing, I was really proud of you, man. You did the whole thing. You shaved your beard. You sent your picture in. Now, to your original question, am I going to shave my beard? I shaved it in the first, like the rules are. And my plan is to definitely not shave it until May 6th.
Right.
But, I was thinking it might have to be trimmed and all during the process. Yeah. I'm not... The only real prize I've heard about is for the longest beard. And I'm not going to get that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to grow like Duck Dynasty, I just don't know how. I've never let it go past probably 6 weeks, a couple months. I did it for the Santa Claus a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So
they would say something at work though if I really let it get too shaggy.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. You got to dress it. That's why I was surprised you volunteered, because you're still working. Like all these young guys I'm sure all working. Yeah. But I shouldn't say that's the reason I was surprised. I was just surprised. And then I thought about that after I was thinking about it, that you still have to work. So, you still have to report somewhere, and somebody's paying you, and they're going to have an opinion.
Yeah, and then especially when I travel, starting in February.
Yeah, that'll be the problem, probably.
Yeah.
If you could stay in the warehouse till then.
Well, I work in corporate office.
What? You get dressed up to go to work?
Well, it's Florida, so it's casual.
Okay, so no ties.
No tie.
They make you wear shoes, though, I guess, right?
Yeah, but we're allowed to wear jeans every day.
Okay.
It lacks corporate.
I didn't even know you were there every day. I thought you were just there on the weekends.
No, I work Tuesday through Saturday.
Holy smoking!
Well, on Saturdays it's lax. I wear shorts and a t-shirt because there's nobody in the building except a few people.
Yeah.
But
hey, you know what? You're good luck, buddy. I got a little phone's ringing here for Mike Bergen Realtor. I'm going to put it off for till noon, but
Monday through Friday. Tuesday through Friday. I have to wear shoes.
Tuesday through Friday, you have to wear shoes.
Yeah.
And what's your work week? Did you say Monday through Saturday?
Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday. Okay, so you're Sunday, Monday off. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You probably get comfortable with that by now, huh?
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Saturday's my day to catch up on all the things I got piled up from during the week
Right.
that I can't catch up on. So
Yeah, I haven't had an inbox like that in a long time. So
yeah, and then I don't have to deal with anybody, all the higher ups.
right. All right, let's talk like football or something here. Let's get a little, in case there is somebody actually listening.
Right.
Well,
we got Jigger's.
Jigger's joined 11:30, but I'm not holding out hope. There's going to be a lot going on there. That could
I
end.
feel like there might be, but especially with Temple coming on at noon.
Yeah, but it's like the first Saturday in December. I mean, Amelia went out early. Everybody, I think, is out running around.
Well, good.
I
Let the
hope.
women go out and the men can talk.
I hope.
Yeah.
The men can talk. I like that. Yeah, that'll be good.
I was listening to Denny earlier, about the Flyers back in the day. Remember, we had the old Firebirds too with Dougie Favell at Convention Hall.
You know what? I told the story about the ice melting at Boulevard, and the ice melted or cracked or something at the convention center or whatever it was that they were playing. Convention Hall.
Firebirds, yeah.
The Firebirds. The first game they had to cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the Flyers today, though.
God, they're on fire.
Oh my God, they're a lot more fun to watch. I mean, to me. But they look good. Yeah, they've done this the last 3 years, so this could be a mirage.
They're above 500 before New Year's.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm very happy. I'm kind of proud of them actually. They've been a long time coming.
They're not beating any slouches.
Nah, and they're beating these guys.
Devils.
They're beating these guys while these other teams are on a roll. I know.
Yeah.
I know. They're fighting their ass off. Now the Rangers, they caught it a good time, to be fair. But I would say everybody else was on some sort of roll. They didn't get any
but it's
patsies.
twice they beat them this year.
Yeah, I know. That's sweet.
I think they shut them out the first time also.
That's sweet. Yeah, I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
I don't remember them shutting him out twice.
I know Frank's upset.
It wouldn't do him any good. He was explaining this morning, though, he's not suicidal like people get on football. Because we were talking about the Eagles, but it's not just the Eagles. It's like the game itself, the sport itself brings out crazy.
I'm really starting to hate the sport itself, especially because the referees are turning it into...
Referees.
Yeah, not the referee, but it's what's his face? Who's the commissioner?
Goodell.
Yeah, turning it into a sissy sport.
Well... Yeah, listen, from what I can tell, Goodell is the, I don't want to call him a puppet, but, he's sort of like, he's not running the show. I mean, he's the front man.
He's a puppet for the owners.
Okay,
yeah.
So we'll say puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see him as much of that, but I could see if I loved the game enough that this guy would be like what Bud Selig was for me for 15 years or whatever. Yeah. He was commissioner. That was a farce.
That was a joke.
You're not kidding.
Giamatti before him wasn't any better.
Yeah, he kind of inherited it because Vincent, you mean? Vincent Giamatti died.
Yeah, well, wasn't Giamatti been before?
Oh, for sure. Selig? Vincent followed Giamatti though, and then Selig followed.
Okay.
So it just got worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Giamatti was. Obviously, we don't remember Judge Landis, right, back in the 1920.
Yeah.
But I always thought that's what this guy modeled himself after. He was a self-righteous windbag, and he had Rose by the nuts, and he wasn't letting them go. And you know what? He screwed with the wrong guy there because Pete gave him a heart attack.
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe that the stress of that didn't kill him. And Rose lied for all those years. I mean, he's a hard guy to defend. But with 4,200 hits and nobody else is doing it,
not even close.
It's silly to ignore him. It's silly to have him. I think it's silly not to have him in the Hall of Fame. It'd be different if it was the Vatican Hall of Fame. Yeah. But can you imagine the characters that are in the Hall of Fame before, the internet, before when all the reporters used to be their friends?
Is it Ty Cobb in the Hall of Fame?
Travel the road together. Exactly. Right. And we only know the tip of the iceberg. Hey, I talked to a guy last night at the Newportville Inn at about 11 o'clock at night, who claimed to be a cousin, like, how many times removed or whatever, of Honus Wagner.
Really?
Yes. And he was very sincere about it.
Wow.
Yeah, two Hall of Famers in his family bloodlines, and the other one was a fighter, an Irish name, Kelly. It wasn't Jim Kelly. It was close to our boy Coyne's his name. I think his last name was Kelly, but I can't remember the first.
Right.
And he said he was in the Hall of Fame, which, you know, he could have told me that about anything. But I do know who Honus Wagner was. And the story he told was that his father or his grandfather, must have been his grandfather, Honus Wagner, got all. There's this famous story about his picture. One of the reasons that is worth so much money, that baseball card from 1920 something, whenever that was, 32, was on packs of cigarettes. He used to give them away with tobacco. He said it was plug, really. It was like chewing tobacco.
Right.
Which I didn't remember that technical part, but he said that, or the story goes that Honus wasn't a smoker and didn't use tobacco and thought it was a bad thing, so he made them stop. And according to this gentleman last night I was talking to, he acquired all that was made, and they burnt the tobacco and the baseball cards.
Really?
Well, this is really the story I got last night. Now, again, I was at the Newportville Inn at the bar at 11 o'clock at night. But yes, that is really the story that he told. It was good. It was a good story.
Past your bedtime, isn't it?
Yeah, I took a nap. It was a great night last night, Don. It was a great day yesterday. It was a busy day. Mike Bergen, realtor, on the job. But I was up late the night before. I needed a nap. Santa Claus, I was out with Santa Claus for like a half hour. I don't know if you were listening. I already told that twice.
Yeah.
And, it was that kind of day. So when I got done with Santa Claus, I was pumped. I had already had a nap at like 5 o'clock or something, where I got about less than an hour. But so I was pumped, man. Yeah. So I was way past my bedtime. And the reason I love going to Newportville, the bartender, the first thing he said to me was, "Wow, Mike, it's past your bedtime, isn't it?" So it's the only Cheers bar I got left, where I go in and I got a good chance that they know my name, right? So, all right, you want to check in? Maybe we'll check in with Jigger's joint.
Will do.
Okay, I got to go find the theme song, and on the other side of the theme song, we'll be at Jigger's. Hey, let's see if we see somebody there.
All righty, we'll do.
All right, pal. Talk to you in a little bit.
All right, Mike.
All right, later.
All right, later.
All right, hit the drop button. There it goes. Very nice. All right, now, here we go. Let's just do it this way, kids. Tell you what, see you in a bit. Hey.
Yo.
Yo. Is this Eddie, Mr. Basketball?
Yo.
My man. I was a little worried, man.
Dude?
You don't lock this place up. You don't lock this place up. I just wandered in here. Jigger's joint.
That's right, man.
It's nice. It's nice
thing
to feel that free. Absolutely. I almost got myself a drink. Hey, man. Listen, it's been a great morning. Santa Claus was out last night. It's just been like wonderful. How's everything with you?
Okay.
How's everything with you?
Good. Yeah, actually, just running around crazy. I got to go to Vegas tomorrow for. Actually, one of the coolest was, and I know we're here to talk sports because that's what we do, right, on this part.
Right, but listen,
of the
talking
Fat
about
Hat radio.
Thank you very much, but talking about books is raising the bar a little bit, so we'll be back. We'll lower it soon.
Yeah,
soon enough.
So the first year I'm there, do you remember Norm Nixon?
Norm Nixon. No.
Wait, who's on? Is Don on?
I'm here.
Okay, so Don, you remember Norm Nixon, right?
Yeah.
Norm Nixon and I are the same age. He played. You know where he played college ball at?
I don't know where he played college, but then he played for the Lakers for a while.
He
didn't
played for the Lakers. He was in the backcourt with Magic.
Right.
And he played at Duquesne.
Duquesne, out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, out of Pittsburgh. So anyway, these Hudson News locations, it's actually pretty cool. A lot of them are minority owned, like LAX, Los Angeles LAX. All the Hudson News in LAX are owned by a Magic Johnson group.
Oh, okay.
Johnson hasn't been there, but so Norm Nixon is one of the owners of this
Okay.
this thing. So that all the Hudson News and LAX. So the first day we're there for lunch, and I got a guy with me, one of the manufacturers, and so we sit down, and it's a big ballroom at the Wynn. And if you've ever been to the Wynn, I think it's the nicest. Personally, I think it's the nicest hotel in Las Vegas. So we sit down at a table for lunch, and the lunches are all like all the food's dynamite. And there's 8 African American people and me and this guy. So I'm right in my element.
Yeah, absolutely.
I literally, I'm better off with them than I am with the ladies at another
it's
table.
a treat, absolutely.
So anyway, so we sit down, and there's the guy next to me to my left, and then to his left is Norm Nixon. Now, I hadn't seen him during the show during the day. I knew exactly who he was. So we start talking, and all really nice people. So then we all introduced ourselves to each other, and I said, he introduced himself. I'm like, yeah, Norm. And he looks at me like, how you know me, man? And I'm like, yo, bro, I says, I play for the Lakers. And, I said, yo, Mike, I gave him, I played a little ball.
Oh, you gave him I played a little ball Roman story?
I played a little ball. I didn't say where, whatever. I wasn't going down to that level. But,
Good move. Good move.
So anyway, so we're laughing, talking, him and I. It was tremendous.
You could hang with him, yeah.
The whole lunch talking, but one of the funniest was my senior year in college was his senior year at Duquesne, 1976. And I had myself and Eddie Nolan, Don, a guy who I played college basketball with. We played at a Division II program in Pennsylvania, and it was in the old days when the Olympic team, they barnstormed. It wasn't like it is today. Like literally, they might play in Vegas against like a group of pros, and or they might go to someplace else near. Well, they played at, and it was fortunate because it was at King's College at our gym. And the 1976 team, the head coach was Dean Smith, the assistant coach was John Thompson, and some of the guys on the team were like Mitch Kubchak, Scott May, Quinn Buckner, Phil Ford, Tommy Lagarde, and they ended up winning the gold, obviously. So myself and this other guy who I played college ball with, because we were local yokels, that's the only reason why we were asked to play and in the game against them. And our team was, those years they had the Eastern League basketball.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and
these.
It was,
I remember that, yeah.
I don't know if you would remember the name Hawthorne Wingo. He played for the Knicks.
No, but I love the name.
The name's familiar.
Does that matter?
We had Hawthorne Wingo. Guy...
Yeah, that's back when I used to follow the NBA.
Yeah, Serbiak. The kid Serbiak, Wally Serbiak.
Wally Zerbiak, yeah.
Well, his father, Walt, was what played over in Europe for years, and he was a really good player, like about 6'6", strong white guy.
He was good.
He was good, yeah. So he was on our team. We had a guy, Charlie Chris, who got a little bit of time with the Atlanta Hawks.
I remember that. I remember that name too, Charlie Chris.
Yeah, Charlie Chris was like 5'8", 5'9", and he was open as soon as he came over half court. Like, this guy just shot the ball, man. He was fast. And the other, like the Olympic team had Adrian Dantley. It was so we ended up getting like 10 minutes in the first half, 10 minutes in the second half. And
nice.
It was tremendous. The place was packed, and they were kind of rooting for us because we were the local nitwits, and we had a good year my senior year. So went to the NCAAs and whatever. So I start. That's like a side story. So I say to Norm, I said, we got talking about some different stuff. I said, yeah. I says, I actually got an opportunity to play against the Olympic team that year. Right away, that was bullshit, man. I should have been on that team.
Oh, good. You hit a nerve.
He's cursing out Dean Smith. He just took his ACC boys, and Thompson did nothing for me. And I'm like, and he was okay about it. He wasn't like he was. It was a riot. I mean, a riot. Now,
That's
Norm
excellent.
Nixon,
Turned up a can of worms, didn't you?
yeah, but it was cool though. It was cool. Like at one point, he stood up and he came over, he hugged me, gave me a high five, hugged me and shit, and like all the other people at the table were laughing because it was really just him and I talking the whole time. You know,
They were
pretty much.
probably listening.
They were. That's what I'm saying. They were listening,
Right.
and so it was kind of turned into a little bit of a fun story. But now the other thing with Norm Nixon, now these guys obviously are entrepreneurs. They've made a lot of money. Besides, they're smart guys. Besides what they did the money they made, and in those years they
Right.
make half of what these guys make this
Not
now.
Not even.
But they're all, and obviously it can't be a bad thing being part of Magic Johnson's group. You know, because I mean, I think he got a basement and just
Yeah,
prints
hold on
money.
one second. I got to
Right.
go, but as soon as I'm done this call, I'll come right back on.
All right, Don.
Okay.
All right.
So, but it was funny. Now, do you remember Debbie Allen, the singer dancer?
Yeah, of course. The her I remember. Yes.
That's Norm's wife. Pretty woman.
Oh, okay. Was
Pretty woman.
was
Yeah,
she
he's a
there?
cool cat. Like,
Was
I'll
she
see
with
him.
her? Did you meet her?
No, she wasn't there.
No.
But she, it's.
I know her act a little bit.
It's
I mean,
just
she's
a lot of
dancer.
fun, and
She
there's
does
a couple-
choreography.
I'm trying to think of the guy's name who was a D-back for the Ravens. They own they're a group that owns. It's really an interesting crowd. So.
Oh yeah, no, that was another brush with the greatness, Ed. You can get around, man.
I know.
C-Store
I know.
Concepts leading the way. This is how it
Leading
happens.
the way.
Yeah.
Even in those years, man, before it was CSC leading the way.
Always.
Too funny.
Well, listen, I'm big with Norm Nixon, but here's the sports story, and I'm glad we started talking about this because I didn't write it down, but I saw the game the Sixers won this year on TV, of course, but
So did I.
I was sure you did. Well, the whole thing with Kobe, that was Kobe's night. But Eddie, I just want to tell you the story. I'll try to tell it quick. Here's how perfect it was for me. I think the Flyers were on the night. Anyway, there was something else on my TV that night that I clicked in once or twice. Somehow, this ties in for Beards for Bella in a weird way, because this was the night I shaved my beard, and I had to take a picture and post it. So when I come downstairs after shaving my beard off, the Sixers replay is just starting. So they got the whole Kobe thing going on and the big celebration for, they're doing this. And I already knew that he had come off hot because the first time I checked in, he had just hit his second three-pointer in the first minute, right? And you saw all this, I'm sure. So I knew he started off hot. And and one of the things I heard in the second basket he hit, the guy who was doing the play-by-play said, "Wow, he brought it tonight," something like that. He's shooting 33% for the year, and the guy next to him goes, "Yeah, but not tonight." And at the end of the game, he shot under 33%. I love that. But here was my favorite part. This could have been better. There's no way I would have hung with this game, the whole game. And at that point, I didn't know they won, even though the game was over. The first quarter played, and after commercial they said because of time constraints they had to fast forward, so I got to see the first quarter and the last 7 minutes of the game. Ed, it was like that's how I would have cut it up for myself.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So Beards for Bella, good luck thing right there, was very cosmic. I just liked that whole way it worked out, and I got to watch it and watch them win. That's the first game they've closed out. So if you've been watching them, I mean, they must not be able to close.
They can't close anything.
No, because they had a couple games where, I heard or read or tuned in. I had turned on that Mavs game, right? Did you see any of that? Yeah, that was a game they could have won, I think, for the little bit I know basketball and sports watching them.
Yeah,
but they could have closed that out.
So the other thing I saw, when you bring up Kobe, it's kind of interesting because obviously, guy's phenomenal. Has had a phenomenal career.
The stats were
he
impressive.
he's on a pace right now to have the lowest shooting percentage in the history of the NBA since, for quantity of shots. I want to say they said 1960 or something,
Wow.
1970 something. he's shooting 31% from the field, and like 20% something or below that even from 3-point. It's just crazy, man.
Well, he drained his first two, and they said that. It cracked me up.
He had his first three. He missed one, and then he had three of his first four.
Right.
He had 9 points. All right, he had 9 points right out of the gate. The first 9 points. He had 13 points in the first quarter, and he had 20 points for the game.
Yeah,
and he shot like 7 for 28. Some crazy number.
It was 7 for over. It was definitely it was more. It was 7 for something over 21, because when I heard the number, I didn't have to do the math to know that he was under.
Doing 7 for 28, if he's doing 7 for 28, he's doing 1 out of every 4, which is 25%.
And all I knew when I heard the numbers is that he was under his season average, which in the first 5 minutes of the game when they all had a boner on, they were screaming that he was like, not tonight, not tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Don, I don't know if you were on. I just mentioned I was driving to an appointment yesterday in North Jersey, so I'm listening to Sirius Radio with Mike and Mike in the morning.
You listen to the same thing I do every morning.
Yeah, and they had Kobe on, and you
really?
know what? Yeah, they had him on as a guest, and it was, first off, obviously this is a very well educated kid.
Right.
He grew up in Europe and Italy. He speaks like 4 languaguages.
Yeah, he's real fluent in all 4 also, yeah.
And he speaks tremendous. He really does. You may not like what he says all the time, but he speaks very well. So, and the interview was nice. They kind of talked about a lot of different stuff, which some of it was interesting, some of it was just who cares. But I just said to Mike, I said, he's on a pace right now to have the lowest shooting percentage in the history of the NBA since like 1980 or some like a real long time. Like he's shooting like 30.5% from the field for quantity of shots. It's fun.
Did anybody go to the game?
My daughter Kels was there.
Nice.
Did they boo her? Did they boo him?
No, he got his hand.
Because every time he came through Philly, he always got booed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they honestly the fans were great with them. He was great with the fans. He really was, and this was his first outing with obviously first after he announced it. But before the game, they had Dr. J and a guy he's really close. He went to Lower Merion, and they won a state championship there. And he's been very like the gym over at Lower Merion, because we've been there, 25 times playing ball with the kids. Mm-hmm. The gym at Lower Merion is named after him.
Really?
But
did he build it?
He gave like 5 or 10 million, some nice number, and supposedly he was very low key about that. But he never. A couple things. He never comes into town that he doesn't stop there, and he's done like assemblies at the school and stuff like that. So he's really loyal to them. And then the other thing is they mentioned the guy they had a nice article in the Daily News the day after. I forget the guy's name, Eric somebody, who's like the equipment guy for the Sixers, been there for like 20-some years.
Right.
He always has soft pretzels in his locker for him, and he never comes into town that he doesn't go to Larry's Steaks, which Larry's Steaks is very well known, really good cheesesteaks, right across the street from St. Joe's.
Really?
University, yeah. So it's kind of cool. Some of that stuff, I mean, if you're a Philly guy, man, some of that stuff means something.
Well, that's because his father went to St. Joe's.
Well, no, his father went to LaSalle.
Oh, that's right. Joe Bryant went to LaSalle, correct.
He went to LaSalle. He played.
He stopped
for
at Ryan
year,
a couple times, way back when in the day. Joe Bryant.
So I got a Joe Bryant father story too, man.
Really?
Okay.
I'm full of some stories today, man.
Jigger's
Joe
joint.
Bryant is my age. He went to Bartram High School.
Right.
And Joe was like kind of all city. He was a good player, 6'8". He could play. And they had a guy. Oh God, his last name. Obviously, Bartram was all black team, good team, and they had a guy, Joe Mad Dog. I want to say Mad Dog White or whatever. This guy was nuts. He was like a Dennis Rodman type guy before Dennis Rodman.
Right. Wow.
When we were in high school. and we played them my junior year and my senior year in a Christmas tournament. And ironically, Mike, our Christmas tournaments were at Ryan. That was like a big thing for us, a Christmas tournament to go to Ryan. And both years we beat them in the finals. And the one year, like this guy Frankie Sykes, who played with me, was a really good player, and he could play some D. And he held Bryant to like 8 points. And I'm going to tell you, him and this guy Joe Mad Dog White, whatever, they MF'd each other the whole game, man. Give me the effing ball. You don't get the ball, but you can't make an effing shot. And we're laughing our balls off, man. We're beating this team, and we're just laughing. All they cared about was who was getting their points.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, and he's married to Joe Bryant's married to Chubby Cox, who played at Roxborough. That's Kobe's mom, and it's a kind of little mildly incestuous sort of business, basketball stuff in Philly.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, Kobe.
So a couple more stories that don't mean shit to nobody but me.
Yeah, here's another one story that don't mean shit to anybody but me. You said you speak to Mike. You listen to Mike and Mike. Well, when Goalie played for the Eagles, they did a charity basketball game at Holy Family College. They played the Holy Family. They played the Holy Family alumni.
Okay.
Right.
So my youngest son, who's now 30, he was 3 years old, somewhere around 3 or 4 years old. Goalie, they were playing, and Goalie stopped the game, and he picked some kid out. He went to pick some kid out of the stands. It was my son. He put on his shoulders and let him make 2 shots.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's impressive greatness.
You talk about Mike Golick, and now my son's 6'3" and in the Army, and
right. He's got to get up his shoulders too much.
I like that guy Golick. I like that guy Golick. Man, he seems like a really good family guy.
He's straightforward too when you listen.
He
to him.
sure is.
Yeah.
And now there's a family that, all athletes.
I was going to say, him and his brother were in the Eagles at one time, right?
Yeah, but his kid played at one kid played at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played in the Canadian Football League for the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah.
That's Mike Golick Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good show. That's a good show.
His other son's still playing, I think, for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And then he had a daughter. I had a daughter that was a basketball player. I think she played Division I somewhere. I'm not sure, but yeah. So where's Coins, man? Where's your boy Coins?
You know what? I tell you, I hate to talk about him like this, but he is kind of like a prima donna. In fact, him and Danny. Yeah. Now, Danny's busy. Danny's got 3 kids under the age of nothing. And he's on the road and all, so I can understand Danny. But
well, Danny, they got a big party tonight, man.
Did they? Good.
Yeah.
Well, but Coins. What's that, Kieran Danny? A big party tonight. They were. I keep up with them on Facebook. 30. It's great.
They're both 30.
Was that right? Okay.
Dan is the 24th and Kier's the 26th.
I knew that's right. Kier is right on Christmas.
So they got a big party tonight over at Brittingham's.
Man, mine's the 23rd.
Oh, nice. And you weren't invited to the
party,
How old you
be, Don? Don, how old will you be?
64.
Wow. You're a young man.
Wow, man.
How old are you?
He's caught me.
61.
61. So you played against Peltzer when you played Ryan back in this?
Well, Lou was a senior when I was a sophomore.
Oh, that's right. Lou's older than you. He's closer to me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Lou graduated a year after us, Mike.
Yeah, Lou's got the same thing. Chucky. Lou.
Play.
Yeah, I didn't know enough about basketball, but
Lou could jump his ass off.
Everybody
I played against.
About.
Do you know Mike Cataline, Richie Fee?
Yeah,
I know
the
Mike
name.
Cataline.
Yeah, Mike was my year. Mike was a really good player too. He played at Mount St. Mary's.
He played ball. Didn't he play baseball, Don? I don't know if he got.
Danny Cataline.
That was Danny.
No, Danny.
Okay.
That was Danny played ball.
Danny used to play with us down at the cancer thing, Mike, that we always ran for Little Michael.
Oh, okay.
Danny Cataline and Charlie Rumsey are best of friends.
Oh,
They're
wow.
families.
Okay.
Danny hit a ball. Don, I don't know if you know the Roxborough area.
Oh, I know Roxborough.
Okay. So it's called Kenrick Recreation Center. It's like right at Ridge and Roxborough Avenue.
Right.
And we have a very dear friend of ours that his son Michael LaPera passed away of cancer. He had brain cancer. He was diagnosed at 7. He passed away at 29. When he was diagnosed at 7, they gave him zero chance of living. They took his head apart, massive brain cancer, and he just was a huge inspiration to all of us for years. And we used to run a softball marathon every year in September, and it started when we first did it. We used to go from 6 o'clock at night on Friday straight through to 6 o'clock on Sunday, and we sold the field in every 2-hour lots. So trust me when I tell you, at 4 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning, we had the whole playground with the lights and everything. Guy gave us the playground, he's a good friend of ours. There was nothing good happening in that playground at 4 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning, like nothing. So, but Danny used to play with us, and he was a lefty, and he would kill balls. Like Mike, you know where home plate was because you were the ump extraordinaire for years.
I was. I even played a few years for a while. That went on for, like you said, 25 years.
Left field was a shot. Then we had like a food cart, Don, where we had kegs of beer and we cooked all weekend.
This was out beyond right field.
In left field, behind that was a basketball court,
Right.
and behind that was a tennis court, and then behind that was Ridge Avenue. I'm telling you, he hit one that bounced onto the tennis court. It was like,
That's a
what
shot.
the hell, man? Every time he came up, people were hiding.
Right.
He could kill the ball.
It was right field, though. That was right field for that
Yeah.
for that big, right? I thought you corrected me and said
You're right.
left.
I'm sorry, bro. You're right. Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm sorry.
It's my sport. It's my sport, Eddie, you know? I got to be able to talk about
I know.
baseball. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. But, yeah. And Mike was a good basketball player and a really good guy, too.
Mount St. Mary, isn't that where Lenny Capraseca went after he put? Didn't he play there after he got kicked out of Niagara?
Yeah, I don't know the name.
All right.
Yeah,
Screech that.
Capraseca played for Judge.
The guy with the bow tie, I'm trying to think of his name, coached there for like 100 years. I'm trying to think of his name. He's, oh, God, he's very well known. The problem getting to be 61, man.
Yeah, wait till you get 64.
He's so old, isn't he,
Wishing the
Mike?
best for you. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, Don?
Yeah.
You'll think about him on your birthday. And well, I'll tell you what, and we all age different. I got old young. Eddie's got knees, and he could tell stories. His body could tell stories on him, man. He ain't that old, trust me. He's got the mind of a 25-year-old. And the body of
Unfortunately.
I don't think that's unfortunate at all, Ed. I think
That's
that's
what my wife says to me.
absolutely. I don't know how you do it. I look in the mirror. I don't spend time in the mirror. What the hell am I looking in the mirror for?
I don't ever do that.
No,
I don't feel bad. I play golf, I walk, and I still play basketball here and there.
Yeah, you're doing all right. We're all doing all right. If you're on the right side of the sod in the morning. Yeah, I shaved my beard the other night, so I spent a little extra time in the mirror. I'll have to admit that. So this week has been more of a pampering.
My wife said I look younger.
Yeah, you do probably. Yeah, I look younger, but I don't think that's a compliment for how we looked, to be honest. You look younger because I didn't want to tell you before. You looked really old. Like you really looked a lot worse. 1 foot in the grave
Thanks,
old.
Mike. I can feel the love.
Hey, don't worry about it. I'm sharing it because I've got it too. And
by the way,
nice double chin.
My boss is taking me out golfing for my birthday.
Oh, nice. Where are you going? Any place super? Because he's played some nice
There's
courses
a-
down there.
We're playing at the TPC
Eddie.
at the Dye Valley course where they have the web.com tour.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
that's good.
It's actually rougher than the stadium course.
Yeah, when you said the stadium course is the one with the island green, obviously, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the same place? All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so he gets to play some nice courses down there when the boss takes him out, Ed. Like he's playing where the pros are.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. It's 12:01.
All right, baby.
I got to get Christmas
12:01.
shopping. Eddie, thanks for opening up Jigger's joint. It's great talking
got
to you
it, baby.
guys.
Don, I'll talk to you,
Ed.
pal. Be well.
We got to talk to coins, too, okay? Don't forget that.
See.
You know,
right,
I want
boys.
to come up sometime, like next spring or next summer.
Yeah.
I'm bringing my clubs with me. So
Absolutely.
You know what? Well, here's the deal, bro. We got to. You let us know when. And I don't know if you've ever played over at Sandy Run, country
No.
club.
No.
It's like playing.
Decent course, and so love to have you there as a guest. Me, you, Mike, and we'll get coins, man.
There you go.
That'll work.
That'll be perfect. All
There'll be
right.
a ton of laughs.
Gonna
And
hold
the
that-
beers will be
hold them
nice
to
and
it.
cold, and whatever else you drink, and we'll have some bite to eat and play some golf and get to meet each other, man.
That's fine. I look forward to that.
All right.
You got it, my friend. All right, see you guys.
All right.
Have a
Good
good
job,
weekend.
Eddie. Talk to you.
too.
Thanks, pal.
Temple,
All right.
Temple's on right now.
Yeah, we're going to go to it.
I'm
not in the
turn
hurry.
my
Yeah, I'm
phone
not
on
going.
right now.
I'm going to miss the first half of that at least. But that's all right. Make sure you keep an eye on it for me, all right, Don? Make sure that don't get out of
Will do.
hand before I get to sit down and watch it. All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. Good talking to you.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, pal. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I dropped them. All right, we're meandering off the air as now has become the custom on Saturday morning, thankfully. Because you get into Jigger's joint and almost don't want to leave, you know. It's a great way to start the day. So we appreciate Big Ed and, of course, C-Store Concepts leading the way for bringing us Jigger's joint every week. And, of course, I can never say enough, our friend Mike Bergen, Realtor, who keeps us on the air. And we've already talked about Beats for Bella. I always want to talk about beatsforbella.com. You can always check out our girlfriend Bella. Beards for Bella. I'm growing my beard now to May 6th. It's going to be a mess. I want everybody to have fun with me here. So hopefully, if you're still listening, you'll keep me in mind. But you'll be hearing about Beards for Bella on the radio, on the Facebook page, and I may even start tweeting about it. So I'll be tweeting about my beard for Beards for Bella. Big thanks, Denny, for calling in. Keep me company. Big Frank, Answer Man of Life, as always. Dutch calling in earlier, getting a little bit of private conversation with my boy there. And then definitely, what do I got? The Jigger's joint with, that's Don. And Jigger's joint, of course. And I got to spend some time with Eddie and Don in there, and that was always a pleasure. Thinking of our girl Jessie. And other than that, I think we're done for the day. I'm going out Christmas shopping to get myself a Christmas tie for 2015. So I got some music queued up. I'll let this play for a while I'm getting ready to leave the studio. And again, can't thank everybody enough, everybody that tuned in and listened for any amount of time at all. And my friends who I've already mentioned, listed once. So until next Saturday, have a wonderful week, a great weekend especially. I'll talk to you all later.
You're listening to Fathead Radio via Live 365.